and welcome to the Pantheon, where we've got one half of Dungeons and Dragons. We've got a mighty fine dragon for you today. It's Inferno of the Star Mounts. 6 mana for a 6/6 legendary creature dragon. It can't be countered, so suck it, blue mages. And it's got flying, haste, and pay a red. Inferno of the Star Mounts gets +1 or so until end of turn. When its power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. That's pretty goddamn cool, to be fair. You know, you're just chucking 20 damages wherever you feel you need to. Really, really cool and very, very powerful. It's a really unique effect. You know, just chucking 20 damage. All right, okay. I can attack for 20 damage, but just paying 1 red mana to throw 20 damage, now that's pretty goddamn cool. So let's have a look at the top 5. But first, why don't you subscribe to my channel? Going to be doing one of these for every single legendary creature, and well, there's a lot of them, isn't there? So come along and join me for the ride. So without further ado, let's dive in to the top 5. And then at number 5, well, what have we got? We've got Savage Beating. So yes, I am mainly building about, you know, the single red to give the +1 so fire breathing, if you will. But the real thing that we're interested in is killing our opponents. And with a big flying, hasty beater, something like Savage Beating is incredible. 5 mana for an instant, play it only during your turn, only during combat. Choose one creature you control, gain double strike until end of turn, so our 6 power creature is now going to be dealing 12. Or, on top, all creatures you control, and after this phase, they're an additional combat phase. So, if we entwine it for 2 mana, which means we get both halves, we're going to be attacking with a 6/6 with double strike twice, which is 24 commander damage and enough to kill someone, which is, you know, what we want to be doing. So this is just fantastic. And then if you have any spare mana left over, you can pay the red to pump it into our commander and make him bigger. Double strike works even better. To go along with this, there's a couple of damage doublers. And the cool thing with these is if we get our commander's ability off, you know, the deal 20 damage, well, with one of these on the field, we're going to be dealing 40 damage, which coincidentally is what we start on in EDH. So these can be absolutely ridiculously fantastic. Furnace of Wrath, 4 mana for an enchantment. If a source would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage to that creature or player instead. So fantastic. Our commander is going to hit for 12, which, you know, if it has double strike, it's going to kill someone. Or, you know, we play that one red, we deal 40 damage to our opponent's face. Then Dictator of the Twin Gods is just a flash version of that last card, Furnace of Wrath. 5 mana for an enchantment with flash. If a source would deal damage to an opponent or player, it deals double that damage to that opponent or player instead. Now, I have to warn you that this is also for your opponent. So if your opponents are swinging in at you, well, they're going to be dealing double damage. So make sure when you play this, you've got a game plan. You know what you're going to be doing. You're going to dome someone for 40. Then we've got Angrath's Marauders. 7 mana for a 4/4. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or player, it deals double that damage to that opponent or player instead. So it is 7 mana, so it's a lot more mana, but it protects you by, you know, not allowing your opponents to dome you for ridiculous amounts of damage. So really, really good. And it's a little pirate. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Which brings me on to number 4. And at number 4, we've got Shared Animosity. And while we are pumping our commander, what I really want to sort of concentrate on is an overall deck feel. And I think, you know, it's a dragon. Mono red dragons is a good way to go. And Shared Animosity fits really well with that. 3 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1 so until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. So that alone is going to allow us to get closer to activating our commander's ability when, you know, it becomes 20 power just by pumping its power by a bunch if we're attacking with a load of dragons. And even if we don't manage to activate our commander's ability, if we're attacking with a bunch of dragons, guess what? We're doing pretty well for ourselves. So that's pretty goddamn good. And the art's really nice on that. To go along with it, we've got Coat of Arms, which is an incredible artifact. 5 mana for an artifact. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least one creature type with it. So, for example, if you had 2 Goblin Warriors and a Goblin Shaman on the battlefield, each gets +2/+2. So each dragon we get, our commander gets bigger and bigger, closer to that 20 spot. Then we've got Door of Destinies, 4 mana for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, so dragon. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, put a charge counter on Door of Destinies. Creature control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each charge counter on Door of Destinies. This is really nice, and it's a static effect, so when, our commander dies and comes back, it keeps all of those counters on it and, allows us to have a big old commander. And we might be proliferating something a little later. Not that I'm hinting too much, I'm just twitching uncontrollably. Then we've got Scourge of Valkus. 5 mana for a 4/4 with flying. Whenever it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. And you can pay 1 red to get it fire breathing, so +1. So really, really nice. Fits well with the deck. And, if we're going to be pumping out a bunch of dragons, we can take advantage of it and get a lot of pings in with this card. Then we've got Utvara Heltkite. 8 mana for a 6/6 with flying. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. That's really good. Really, really awesome. Just allows you to create a massive board state, although it is 8 mana. So, rev up your soul rings because we're going to need them for this. Then, a slightly different take on this. Dragon Throne of Tarkia. 4 mana for a legendary artifact equipment. A quick creature has a defender. Ooh, not great. But then pay 2 and tap it. Other creature control gain trample and get +X until end of turn, where X is this creature's power. And equip for 3. So potentially we could pump a bunch of mana into our commander, get that 20 damage, deal 20 damage to something else. Then we can equip this to it, tap it, and give all of our other creatures +20/+20 and trample. Or if you just had, Utvara Hellkite sitting there, you don't want to attack with it, well, tap it, give everything +6/+6 and trample for just 2 lowly mana. And it's a throne made of dragons, which actually, thinking about it, maybe the dragon commander wouldn't like it. Anyway, Dragon Tyrant. 10 mana for a 6/6 with flying and trample. And double strike. And at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay 4 red. Not great. But then you can pay a red to fire breathe it. This is just really cool, a couple of cards that are coming up and, a couple we've seen are about doubling damage. And this just gets damage in. It's fantastic. Which brings me on to number 3. And at number 3, we've got, a couple of ways to buff our commander's power and double it. Rush of Blood is 3 mana for an instant tag creature. It gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is its power. This is fantastic for getting our commander up there so we actually, get to 20 power. Because by God, are we going to have, 14 red mana lying about? Not generally. But for 3 mana, we can double our commander's power. So we can, pump it up to 9 by paying 3 red. Then use this, put it to 18, pay 2 more red. And there we go. Bing, bang, bosh. Very, very cool. Wonderful artwork. And does exactly what you want. And it's an instant. A better version of this is Unleash Fury. 2 mana for an instant. Double the power of target creature until end of turn. So exactly the same, except it's a mana cheaper. Really, really nice. Then we've got a rather old and weird card here, Wine of Blood and Iron, which is a phenomenal title. Absolutely incredible. 3 mana for an artifact, pay 4. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is its power. Sacrifice Wine of Blood of Iron at end of turn. That's really interesting because you can actually use this multiple times. You can pay the 4. Okay, our commander's now 12. But then you can pay the 4 again because we're not sacrificing it straight away. It's only at the end of turn. So it's a really, really cool card. And look at those sort of veins. I wish I was that muscular and nothing there to sadly. I will exercise eventually, I swear. Then we've got Fatal Frenzy, the weakest of these effects. 3 mana for an instant. Until end of turn, target creature you control gains trample and gets +X/+0, where X is its power. Sacrifice it at the end of turn. So, yes, we have to kill our commander to use this, but we are doubling its power, getting it up there so we can activate its ability. And, when we've activated it once, well, I want to be able to use it again. We've hit that 20. Well, let's, take it down a notch and then activate it again to get another 20. Hatchet Bully is a fantastic way of doing this. 4 mana for a 3/3 Goblin Warrior. Pay 3 and tap it, put a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control. Hatchet Bullet deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So this is really, really awesome. The artwork, by the way, amazing. Look at that. That is just an imposing goblin holding up a little rabbit there. With its hatchet. Oh, actually, it's going to eat it. Oh, God. Anyway, This is really cool because we can get up to that 19 mana, pay the red to put the last +1% onto our commander. We deal 20 to something, or 40 if we're doubling damage. Then we can tap this, put a -1/-1 counter on our commander to make it a 19/5. Then we can pay 1 more red mana to get it up to that 20 power again, trigger it again, 20 damage to something else. So, -1/-1 counters actually turn out to be our friend. And this is really awesome because it's a repeatable version of that. Then we've got Puncture Bolt, a one-off here. 2 mana for an instant. Deals 1 damage to target creature. Put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. So, yes, we're pinging our commander. What a disaster. But that -1/-1 counter can be so important. And, it's just a 2 mana sort of shock effect if you, really need it. Also, the artwork, again, fantastic. Lorwyn had such good artwork. Then we've got Serrated by Skillion. 3 mana for an artifact construct. 2/2, tap, put a -1/-1 counter on Serrated by Skillion and a -1/-1 counter on target creature. So we're going to be tagging our commander with this. So we can, I'm saying so all over the place here, you can get 2 uses out of it. So, God. Anyway, Grim Poppet, 7 mana for a 4/4. Whoa! It's a Scarecrow. It comes into play with 3 -1/-1 counters on it. So technically, it's a 7 mana 1/1. But we can remove a -1/-1 counter from it, put a -1/-1 counter on another target creature, so our commander. So potentially, if this is on the field and has all of its counters, we could use our commander's ability 3 times. 4 times, actually. 4 times. And then, our commander's like a 2/2. Well, a 22. But this can get so much use. Yes, 7 mana is very hefty, but we're in red. We could reanimate artifact, cheat it onto field, something like that, and then get tons of uses out of our commander's ability. This is really a deck that, you have one big massive turn where you just sort of splurge everything at once and just burn everyone out. Then Serrated Arrows, 4 mana for an artifact, into the battlefield with 3 arrowhead counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are no arrowhead counters on it, sacrifice it. Then you can tap, remove an arrowhead counter from Serrated Arrows, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. So again, we can use that on our commander to bing, 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 bing. Then Blur of Blades, 2 mana for an instant, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Then it deals 2 damage to that creature's control. So yes, we are going to take 2 damage, but not the end of the world, when we can then dome someone for 20. So I'm willing to play this card. Finally, we've got Grasping Dunes. It's a land desert that taps for a color. It's not that big of an issue in a mono-colored deck. Then pay 1, tap it and sacrifice it. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Activate this ability only in time you could cast a sorcery. So that's a bit weak. You can't respond to a removal spell in the middle of your combo. But this is a great land that allows you to just dome someone again. Brilliant. Exactly what you want to see. Now, here are another subset of cards that work with a -1/-1 counter theme, because there isn't that many. And, I talked about it earlier, just counters in general. Why don't we proliferate? Contagion Clasp is a 2 mana artifact. When it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. So this can, for 2 mana, we can put this on our commander, activate our commander again, dome someone for tons of damage, then pay 4, tap, and proliferate. You choose any number of permanents and or players with counters on them, then give each another counter of any kind already there. That's really good. If there's already one -1/-1 counter on our commander, do it again. There's another one, then repay the red, dome everyone for 20. Really awesome. To go along with this, Vault Charge is a cool removal spell, 3 mana for an instant. Deals 3 damage to a target creature or player, so it could be player removal, goddamn. Then Proliferate. So absolutely fantastic. Works great with this theme of the deck. Really nice. Then we've got Khan's Bastion, a land. I love a land that has an effect. Tap for a colorless, pay 4 and tap Proliferate. So incredible. Having a land that does things like the Grasping Dunes is always wonderful. It's always going to be available to you. And, end of the day, it just taps for mana, so it's never a dead draw. Then finally, Contagion Engine. 6 mana for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature target player controls. So if you want this to be, the thing that sets off your -1/-1 counter sort of tirade, putting a 1 on your commander, It's going to be costly because it's going to put it on everything, you know, any little mana dorks and all of your other dragons. It's not the best, but it's really cool using it as like a semi-board wipe on our opponents. Then you can pay 4 to tap and proliferate, then proliferate again. Really, really awesome. Gets you tons and tons of value. So good, so powerful. And those are my top 5 cards. Really cool commander. You know, who doesn't love doming someone for 20? It's just like, it's such a cool little thing to build around. And then once you do hit it, oh, you deconstruct the deck and build something better. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye.